Most people hear about the war through the news, but never from the soldiers who actually fought it. In episode 1, we heard from my brother Ruben Bustos, who took us inside the streets of Iraq. Today we continue that story through another set of eyes. Sergeant Centeno, born and raised in Puerto Rico, he joined the Army looking for purpose, adventure, and brotherhood. Found all three, and paid them in sweat, fear, and memories that don't fade. From the barracks of Germany to the chaos of Hit and the alleys of Sauter City, this is the story of a regular soldier who carried the mission on his back. Centeno, what's cracking, brother?
Yo, what's going on, my brother? How you doing?
We're gonna jump right into it, bro. Let the people know where you were born and what life was like growing up in Puerto Rico.
So I was born in Trenton, New Jersey, but I really didn't stay there for long. I think I stayed there for a couple of days. Then my mom took me to Puerto Rico, and that's where I was raised. I was back and forth between PR and the States, but most of the time I was in Puerto Rico. Like all the years in Puerto Rico, I was just a regular kid, surrounded by good, bad things, like everybody else. Always liked to play sport, barely on electronics. I didn't play no PlayStation, none of that. Everything was sport. Like that's what my dad and my mom wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So I did that until high school. That's when I kind of got a little off track, and that's when I actually left my home and went to live with the mother of my two daughters. And then from that, it's just a different story. I pretty much stopped playing basketball like on a pro level. I was just doing it like street basketball with all the guys that I knew, and same thing with baseball, same thing with softball, and then just trying to finish school and working. Before 18, I was about to have my first daughter, and that's when I was trying to look for work and trying to make it better for them. And, at that age, it was kind of hard for me to get something. So I was like jumping around from factories, from uh, mechanic shops, from, oh my God, all kinds of stuff I did. I had my second daughter, and like I think at 21, started like thinking about joining the military. The only reason I did it is because I was living in a bad area. It's not that I was a bad kid or something. It was just I was surrounded by a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to get caught up in the same thing. So I decided to join. Took me 3 times to get that test.
That's
Um,
bad.
that's bad, bro. It's killing me.
Yeah.
And then the third time I got a pretty high score, 118 GT score. Like I was ready on the third time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that's when everything started.
What were you hoping to find when you signed the papers? A way out, a challenge, or just a future?
Actually was looking for everything. I didn't have no plans set for my life.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was just gonna be a regular dude, just working 8 to 5, but doing normal stuff. And then when I had the chance to join, and that's when I decided to travel, make a better person of myself. Obviously school. I started school, but I didn't finish it. And years later, out of my military career, that's when I was able to finish school. Infantry is kind of hard to go to school because you're always doing something, so you don't have time to do anything when it comes to like school and stuff. So, but it was most to get out of where I was, and then just better myself as a person, as a man, trying to do the right thing.
Sure, bro. How did you come to the point that you were going to join the infantry?
The war already started in Iraq, and I was excited about it. I really didn't even think anything of it, like I'm just gonna get hurt or any of that. I kind of like I wanted to be in their shoes. So when I went to MEPS station, they asked me, so this is the jobs that we have to offer you. If infantry wasn't there, but it was a whole different. It was support. It wasn't combat at all. It was just support. So I was like, nah, I don't want to be this. I want to be like the guys on the TV, right? And the guy was like, "What do you mean?" Like, I was like, "That the ones that actually go to war. I don't want to be sitting in an office. I don't want to do none of
Yeah.
that." So he was like, "Are you sure you want to be infantry?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do." He asked me like 3 times, and I'm like, "Nah, bro, that's exactly what I want. I don't want anything else." And then he was like, "All right." So I signed infantry, no bonus,
Yeah.
which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Infantry had no bonus. Yeah, that's crazy. So I was like, I don't care. I just want to bounce. Nah, man, I left. They took me to Oklahoma to Fort Sill because I was people that came from either MEP station and the east side, right? They used to, and the ones that I needed to go to Lackland Air Force Base because what my recruiter did, he was like, I'm gonna send you to English school, and you're gonna spend as
Yeah,
much time as you want there because it's counting to your time, right?
yeah,
I know you know English enough for you to pass that test, but stay there as much as you want, right? At that time, I think you were allowed to stay either 6 months or a year. I don't remember, but he was like, just make as much money as you can in that school, and then go to basic training and stuff. So I started in Fort Sill. That's when we did our in processing. They gave us everything, and then we took a bus down to Lackland Air Force Base. It was just all Puerto Ricans. There was nobody else. It was all Puerto Ricans. And so we got there. It was like straight up basic training. They yell at you when you come out of the bus. They like it's just straight up basic training, right? So I stayed there for about a month, and I really didn't want to stay longer because it was like, why am I getting yelled at here? I'd rather go to basic training. Like I don't want to do this anymore. So I passed the test right away. It took me a month, and then they sent me to Benning to Georgia for basic training.
yeah. So, what was your first day at basic training like?
Now you get there, they started yelling at you. I was kind of already used to it, so it really didn't bother me. They
Yeah,
were like in front of my face. Oh my god, they did everything that they could. I already knew all my the military alphabet. I already knew my soldier's creed. Like I learned all that in English school, right?
yeah.
And at that school, I went with two other guys, Ace, and I was another guy, last name Rivera, which he quit on basic training. He went on break and never came back. But Ace, we both help each other. Ace didn't speak a lot of English, so he kind of like came to me all the time to see if I can help him. And but he was on another platoon. He was on fourth platoon. I was on first platoon, right? Foxtrot Company 150 on Fort Benning. But we cover each other as much as we could, and I helped him as much as I could. Graduation came. I didn't receive no orders.
Yeah.
Everybody else left. I was the only one in Fort Benning with no orders. So I stayed in Fort Benning for, bro, I don't even know, maybe 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I was doing nothing. I was just doing PT. I was just doing learning more stuff with the all the group that I was already in basic training. One day I was doing CQ, and I got this phone call at 2 in the morning saying, "Yo, you need to leave CQ. Go pack your stuff. You're leaving tomorrow to Germany."
Oh man.
So that's exactly what happened. I packed everything. The drill sergeant took me to the airport. I was like, "All right, man, just bounce." Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So, but while you're in basic training, bro, what did you learn? What did you learn about yourself in that time?
Um, I think that before joining basic training, I was kind of, I'm not gonna say mentally weak. I was like weaker than after I start basic training. I found out that I can actually do things without complaining, do things without getting upset about it, do things that are required for you to finish the task without complaining. I mean, I learned so many things. I learned how to work with other people. I had a problem working with people because I had a standard, other people had a standard. It was like a whole mess, and I learned how to like work as one. And I think basic training like put me in a place that I was confident about who I was as a man and as a soldier,
Hmm.
right? And that's why I was grateful for those drill sergeants that were on my face every freaking day. I remember the drill sergeant gave some instructions, and I was like, "Can you repeat this?" And because you know English is my second language, so I'm kind of trying to understand what are you saying. And he just got close to me like this with the hat, and he was like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from Puerto Rico." He was like, what the fuck are you doing in my army?
Yeah,
And but it was a good learning experience. It made me be a better man and obviously a way better soldier.
for sure. Yeah. Told him your army, dude. You and your army, bro. I'm gonna cut that part out, but yeah. All right. So after basic, you were stationed in Germany. How did that change your view of the world?
They first told me that I was going to Germany. I was like, all right, so one of the reasons why I joined the military is traveling, right? And obviously, I never thought that I was going to go to Germany ever in my life. And when I got to Germany, obviously I told my wife and my daughters, they were like really, really young, so they couldn't understand that much. I was like, look, I'm going to Germany. I'm gonna try as much as I can to bring you guys in as soon as I can.
Yeah.
But it kind of put me in a bad situation with them because I kind of thought that I was gonna be able to see them more often, and now I had to wait until I get housing, get
Mhm.
everything set up. I know it was going to take a couple months for me to see them, and I was so far away. And you know how tickets were back in the day were like really expensive to travel from
Yeah.
Germany to, and I always knew they were not going to let me travel like that. So I was kind of like sad because I'm walking away from my family, especially my daughters, right? And when I got there, everybody treated me with respect. Nobody did anything wrong, said anything wrong to me. Put me on headquarters. I remember I got there, my luggage disappeared. I didn't get no luggage. Everything disappeared. So they called me from the airport like 2, 3 days later. Hey, we found your luggage. We're gonna bring it to you to bomb holder. I remember when I got there, I didn't know what they were doing. Like they weren't doing like stuff normal soldiers do. They were doing like a lot of like a backstage stuff, and I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to be, able to go to work quick and start learning everything. So I remember this our command sergeant major at the time. He was from Puerto Rico, and he learned that I actually just got to headquarters. So he had my platoon sergeant at that time. I don't remember who it was, but to take me to the office if he wanted to talk to me. So I got there, everything is cool. He was like, no, sit down, don't worry about it. Like he was very chill. He was about to retire, so he really didn't care much about respect and stuff. He was just
Yeah.
talking to me like a regular person, right? And I'm over here all scared and shit because this guy's a command sergeant major of like, so we started talking and stuff, and he was like, yo, you want to go to Alpha Company 16? And I'm like, uh it's a good company. And I'm
Yeah.
asking, it's a good company? He's like, yo, it's one of the best companies that we have
Yeah.
here right now.
Yeah.
And I can send you there if you want. And I'm like, yeah, send me there. And I'm like, oh, and then we have a lot of Puerto Ricans over there too. So you're going to be okay with it. So that's when I started in Alpha Company 16. Sergeant Grandia, he's the one who received me. And then Bustos was there. Tino was there already.
Yeah.
Ace, the one who was in basic training with me, he was there too.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, a lot of people, man, and so they put me in barracks, and then after that, I was just doing everything that they were doing, and waiting for me to get housing to bring my family back
For
to bring
sure.
my family to Germany.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. But that's pretty cool though. I can't imagine Private Centeno. I met you. You was big homie, so yeah.
I was in E2. I think I made E3 right away in Germany,
Yeah.
um, but E4. Uh, E4, corporal, and then sergeant.
Yeah.
It was a challenge for myself, for
Hmm.
boosters as well.
What kind of bond started forming between y'all before the deployment?
I think we knew we were all Hispanics, but most of us, Bustos took me under his wing, and he's the first guy. Chino as well, right? I can't really leave him out because he helped me out too. He was a pretty high speed soldier at the time. Bustos was always high speed, so I was kind of like look up to him.
Yeah.
Um, he always helped me on do everything the right way. But our bond just started like, look, we're the only ones Hispanic here in this platoon. We need to take care of each other, and we'll be all right. Just do the right
Yeah.
thing, whatever. And that's how everything started, bro. Like we started like calling each other, texting each other, um, spending time together. We used to go to freaking shopping together. We used to take me everywhere. Like that's how everything started, bro. And now we're like, well, you already know how Bustos and I are, you know?
All right. So, what was the energy like knowing that combat was around the corner?
I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
I knew I had people that already been in combat from that platoon, so they kind of like help us out,
Yeah.
telling us, stories, and pretty much how to react when we first get there. But it was kind of scary though. At that point, I already had my daughters in Germany. I think we got deployed in January, 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Sergeant Grandia was his first. I think it was his first deployment. Um, we had a lot of people that it was the first time.
Yeah.
Most of the people here haven't been deployed, so it's going to be like a really challenging deployment for us, right? Which we were kind of like upset because we really wanted to be part of. We wanted to be part of 1-6.
Yeah.
Um, for me at that time, it was like the worst deployment when it came to management, right?
Yeah.
We try to do everything that we could and as best as we could by having management that it wasn't really taking care of us. They have their own group 136, and Alpha 16 was kind of like the stepchild type shit, that we really don't like.
Okay. So, what do you remember about arriving in hit for the first time?
I think it was FOP hit, right? We used to hear stories from everybody that was there that FOP hit was getting hit by rockets every freaking time, right? So they were telling us, yo, you guys got to be careful. Always keep your eyes open. We're getting hit by rockets all the time. But as soon as you get to FOB hit, I think it was the name, I don't remember. You guys are gonna get in your Bradleys and you guys gonna go to your front base, right? I think we got dropped off at downtown, and we walked through the market to, I don't remember. It was our first building next to the river. It was in a tough spot, that area, because we used to get the other side of the river. We used to get mortar. Oh my God, it was crazy. When we got there, they pretty much put us in a building, no security, no nothing. We built that cop from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
We built all the firing positions, the guard towers, windows with sandbags, and it was just one company. It was just Alpha Company, right? It was kind of like a lot of work. We were in one building, and then second platoon was in another building. Um, it was crazy the way they actually put us there, and we knew we were there to work, but you guys put us on the red, on the red zone, like with no protection. Deal with it.
What was the mission's focus out there?
So they pretty much told us that hit part of Ramadi hasn't seen military patrols and military presence for 9 months. I think it was.
Yeah.
It was 9 months or 12 months. I don't remember. And to expect the worst because apparently they had the whole setup ready for us. They were just pretty much waiting for whoever stepped into hit or Ramadi, and we already knew how Ramadi was.
Yeah.
So they told us just to stay vigilant, and they told us that we needed to pretty much clear that area as fast as we could. It wasn't like a mission that we're just trying to win the people. We're just trying to do accountability of who lives here. No, it was just we need to clear that area. That was the mission.
Yeah.
So, and that's how everything started. I think that's what was in our head, at least in my head. We need to clear this mission. So I was expecting people shooting at us, were IEDs all over the place, uh, people shooting at us with rockets, and that's exactly what it was. They were
Yeah.
exactly waiting for us.
Do you remember the first time you fired your weapon in combat?
I think we were doing a night up, an OP, right? We had these teams called SKT with small kill teams. We had Bustos, we had Sergeant Reagan, myself, we had Ace, we had a pretty badass SK team, right? We
Yeah.
were like always volunteer for everything. Like it was pretty badass. So if I'm not mistaken, we were doing this OP and we saw this insurgent carrying pretty much a landmine, right? A pressure plate. And I think Bustos and Sergeant Reagan were the ones in like observing everything, and I was just pretty much behind them. Everybody else was behind them, covering the back door and everything. So they saw this guy carrying a pressure plate, right? And I think that's the first time that we all actually were able to open fire. Yeah, I think that's the first time that I actually were able to do it. I'm trying to remember if I did something when we were in that cop next to the river. But I think we also fired the. I just don't remember exactly the first time, but the one that is like vivid in my head is that one that when they were doing the observation point.
Was there a day when reality of combat truly hit you?
Uh yeah. It was our first patrol from that base that they dropped us off, and they were just telling us, "Hey, be alert, this and that." We walked through the market, and then we're going through the alleys and stuff. When we were walking through the market, we heard an explosion, and it was one of our guys step on a personal landmine,
Mm-hmm.
and he lost his foot, and he lost this too. Um, and I think that's when it hit like this shit for real. Like I was scared shitless,
Yeah, I bet.
and if everybody else was, because I mean, when we start hearing the radio, Libo got hit. Libo got hit. He lost his leg. But after everything, we find out that he was obviously he lost his leg, his his finger or two fingers. I'm not sure. But he was gonna make it. Then we were kind of like, well, we were kind of like okay with it, but we knew like this shit is for real now.
Yeah. All right. From your eyes, what kind of soldier was Bustos out there?
He was the soldier that you look up to. Um, he knew his shit. He
Yeah.
wasn't scared of nothing. Uh, I think I learned a lot from him when he came to not being scared of anything.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that tell me, "You, if you're gonna die today, you're gonna die today. It doesn't matter where you
Yeah.
at." So that's kind of like stay in my mind, and that's how I've been my whole life. After that,
Mm-hmm.
I've been like Bustos is just it's like one of those soldiers that you gladly will go to war to with no problem, no hesitation.
Facts.
This guy could go to war right now. He asked me, "Can you go with me?" And I would say yes,
Me
100%.
too. Right now, let's
You know,
go.
so and he was always looking out for us too. Bustos had a little attitude problem, but who doesn't?
Yeah.
Especially been in that situation, and we all understood. Bustos saved people's life. Uh, Busta did everything. We all did everything together. And we always volunteer for when there was mission that we knew shit was about to hit the fence. We were there. We were
Yeah,
there.
sure.
When we were getting shot at, we were going over there. We're not hiding. I think that's why everybody was upset at us because we didn't even care about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We were just going towards where the fire was, and I don't know, maybe it was like kind of like a selfish from us because we didn't care about nobody else, but we at the same time we were like, I don't want to give these people time for them to hide somewhere and keep shooting at us. No, we want to get these people. I think Bustos was one of the reasons that I was like, I actually became that type of person, not scared of anything, and I'm really grateful. He knows this. I tell this all the time. We talk every now and then. You know, Bustos is he likes to be alone. He don't like to be bothered. He just is on his own world. But you know, when it comes to me reaching out, he reach out right away.
For sure.
Um, so but yeah, man, like he was my go to guy.
What's one memory from hit you'll never forget, good or bad?
Well, obviously, I'll never forget the time that I got hit. Right.
Mm.
Um, I was I was walking on from base 4 towards the gym. Right, and I was with Sergeant Talavera. You remember Tally, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were walking together, and a motor landed next to us. Right. So he threw me off. He threw him off. Then like 12 motors just slammed one after another. It was a shit show, bro. It was just everybody running here and there. Our arms room, it was a Connex, right? Our Connex got hit by mortar. Everything exploded. We didn't have we needed to get weapons. Like we needed to get a new, pretty much arms room because everything got destroyed, right? So I remember I got hit and I got up and I'm like touching myself and I'm like, oh shit, I'm okay, right? But Tally was like behind a treadmill or something. He was behind a gym thing, a gym machine, right, or something. And he was like this, right? And he had a piece of shrapnel
Mm.
um, went through his through here, right, the trachea, and he was like it was bleeding pretty bad though. And I was trying to like, if I'm not mistaken, bro, I'm trying to remember. I think I was trying to pull him out of there, and that's when I dropped on my knees because I had a hole right here and two holes in my legs, and I was like bleeding too. And that's when I saw Sergeant Reagan, and this guy, you know, Sergeant Reagan's big.
Yeah.
He pulled me on his freaking shoulder and dragging Tally into the A station.
Real life Rambo,
Um,
bro.
no, that dude's just stupid, bro. Stupid, super strong. I think that's one of the things that I remember the most. The time that I was hit over there, and I got hit in hit. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And also, we were shot at every day, bro. Every freaking day. We hit IDs like crazy. I remember uh, we were opening this gate, and Boosters and I, we were outside the Bradley, and Boosters opened the gate, and I was supposed to close the gate. So when he opened the gate, the track kept moving forward, and when the
Mm-hmm.
track pivot, a freaking landmine went off.
Yeah.
One of those vehicle big, one of those landmines, and it freaking threw me off. It threw boosters on the other side. I couldn't hear shit. Um, and I was just calling boosters because I was like, this guy's freaking done. I didn't even want to go look for him. I was just yelling at him, and I don't know where I see him that he's like walking this way. I don't remember. I think he was walking this way, and that's when my heart was like, oh my god, at least he's alive.
Yeah.
But bro, we were like deaf. We couldn't hear shit. It was like really in between both of us. It's memories, bro. That I mean, today you could be here, and tomorrow you won't be here.
Right.
And I swear to God, like God was looking over us because we were in so many IDs.
Yeah.
So many explosions on the roads. So many people, a lot of people shooting us every day. It was just some crazy shit. And like I'm really grateful, and I thank God that He actually, um, kept us safe. All of us,
Yeah.
obviously some of the guys weren't that lucky, and I remember them every day. I always have. I Every day I use a different one. I have six. Every day I have a different one. One of the many things that I remember the most.
For sure. After the first tour, you returned into Germany. What was that like?
Uh, it was weird. Like I had problems at home because I didn't know how to. I don't know. I couldn't compartmentalize what I went through
Yeah.
with where I am right now. I couldn't.
Mhm.
I couldn't. I couldn't walk straight when it comes to like me treating like and my family, right? I was kind of like it's really hard for me to describe, but I was so used to rough things that when I got home, I felt like I was lost, like I was missing something. And I was having problems at home. I was the way I was addressing my wife at the time, my daughters, the way I was treating them. It was rough because I couldn't get that out of me. And and we barely had help from mental health. We
Yeah.
barely see doctors. Barely. Months later, we were getting deployed. What, 9 months later? We were getting
Yeah.
deployed
Maybe a
to
year
to
later
Saudi
for
City,
sure. A
right?
year later for sure.
Yeah, a year later. So um, it was kind of hard for me, and I guess just it took time for me to calm down and uh, be a regular garrison soldier. Not a combat soldier.
Yeah. All right. So, what went through your head when you found out that you're going back to Iraq?
Uh, the truth is, I was happy. I was happy, and because I was kind of like going back to stuff that I really like, right? Um, I hate being back in garrison and just not doing nothing, right? Infantry can only do so much when it comes to training and when it comes to kill time when you're in the barracks and when you're working 8 to 5, 9 to 5. Like it's just like I really wanted to get back and I think I talked about boosters. And I think I asked him the same question. How do you feel? And he's like, shit, I'm great. Grateful that I'm going back. You know? Obviously the money was good. Um, we came back with money, was a great thing. Um, we were already NCOs, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, when y'all got back, y'all was I
We
think
we
y'all
were
were like you
specialists.
was a specialist. Bustos was like a specialist too, but y'all got promoted when we went to the field.
Yeah, we got promoted. Yeah, we got promoted when we went to Grassenbeer. Yeah, and let me tell you, it took us a long time to get promoted for reasons that I'm not going to mention here.
Yeah.
Uh, which it was kind of messed up, the way they handle our situation. Back in Hit, Boosters taking over the squad when the actual squad leader literally quit on a QRF mission.
Hmm.
Boosters as a specialist took over the squad. We proved everybody that we deserve to be NCOs way before when we got promoted, and
Yeah.
there was a couple people that weren't right. They weren't I guess they weren't okay with that. Boosters and I would always talk about it. And I remember we had this NCO called Sergeant Death Row. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember him for sure.
You remember him? Um, he was one of the reasons why we got corporal.
Mm.
He's the one who pushed for us to get corporal, and then obviously we got promoted in Grafenbeer. Because he was like, "What are you guys are not promoted? That doesn't even make sense, right? We're about to go back to Iraq, and you still specialists." So it was one of those things that a lot of people really took for granted. Maybe me not getting promoted the way I deserved, that was one of the reasons why I probably got out, you know? But we became NCO, everybody was looking up to us. Everybody knew, everybody wanted to be with us.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be in our squad, in our platoons, because they knew how we roll. They knew we had your back. Well, you were
Yeah.
with us all the time.
In preparing for the next deployment to Iraq, you and Bustos are in leadership roles. What was your mindset training your guys to get them prepared for what was about to come?
So I really wanted you guys to see war the way we saw it when we first got deployed the first time. And obviously, we know that we had a challenge with you guys, right? Not because you guys were bad soldiers or not disciplined soldiers. It's just that there's some people that can really understand why we do the things that we do, you know? I don't know if you remember this guy. He was under us,
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Remember how many times this guy gave us problems? How
Yeah.
many times we were like nice? We were like trying to do everything. How many times we did everything just for him to be, in the right track, and he always did whatever. It's just one of those things that you're kind of like, damn, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we're supposed to, like, these guys are about to get deployed with us, and they're supposed to be already square away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. It was for some people, it was just discipline. They really didn't care, you
Yeah.
know. And I really didn't want to be deployed with people that I couldn't trust. And it's kind of sad to say this, but I didn't trust him, you know.
Sure.
And I told Boosters, I don't trust him. I'm sorry. I just can't deal with it. I need to have people that I can actually have my back when I'm there, because you guys know that I had your back.
Yeah. 100%.
You guys knew that Boosters had your back, all the time. And we always treat you guys like you were one of us. Like, we never treat you guys bad. We never treat you guys with disrespect. We never treat you guys like we were NCOs and you guys were privates or specialists. We always treat you guys the same. And I think that was one of the things that I like about our squad, that you guys knew that we were there for you guys all the time.
Y'all was like our big brothers. That's what it felt like to me. Y'all were our NCOs. We respected y'all 100%, but it felt like y'all were more big brothers to us.
Yeah.
What was different about Solder City compared to Hit?
I think Solder City was more organized. Obviously, Hit didn't have presence for a long time. When we showed up to Solder City, there was already, I think, third ID was there, if I'm not mistaken.
It was Fort Carson. I think it's Fourth ID.
Fourth
Fourth
ID.
ID.
So Fourth ID was there. So we took over them, and everything was already set up. It was kind of easy for us to get used to the city. I wasn't okay when we were doing about the wall. Remember when we were actually putting security for the wall to be in place? I think that we could have done a better job bringing more soldiers to take care of the wall and leaving us to patrol the city.
Yeah.
It was a big city. It was a big area. When we knew that we needed to go to the last sector, it was a 4-6 hour patrol.
Yeah.
And the chances of us getting fired at, it was like 90%.
Yeah.
It was kind of easy for us, but we kind of like, at the same time, it was kind of hard because we were like thinking about you guys all the time. And it's sometimes we just try to be there to cover you guys as much as we could, and then sometimes you can control it.
What kind of challenges did you face as a soldier there?
I think the way we were doing the mission, it was challenging because we had that. Remember, we were attached to a tank company, right? And Me and First Sergeant myself, we were like this, right?
Yeah.
We used to play ball together. I used to we used to so kind of because of that, some of the things that we needed to do weren't that bad because of the relationship that we have with him. But
Yeah.
we didn't have no relationship with the CO, which he was a
Right.
mayor, right? And he was making us do stuff that didn't make sense, you know.
Yeah.
So what are we doing a 5 hour, 6 hour patrol at 2 in the afternoon when it's like 120 degrees? He wasn't thinking about us. He was just thinking about his rank. He was thinking about his career. And that's some of the things that actually made me realize that I really, I don't know, I shouldn't be part of this army if people don't really look out for us, right?
Yeah.
Um, and the way it should be. And I think as a soldier, as a soldier inside our city, it was hard for me to get to adapt to that type of order from somebody that don't even want to go out with us so he can experience what we're going through. That was one of the reasons that I was kind of like upset about it all the time when it comes to doing missions that didn't make sense, that put us at risk all the time.
Mm-hmm. Seemed like on purpose at times, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to ask. Okay. Yeah. So we were conducting a counter Iran patrol when the MPs were hit by IED. Remember that day?
I remember.
Can you talk about that?
So we were doing a patrol and we were pretty much in front of our fob, right?
Yeah.
Um, and but we were behind a wall, a T barrier, right? We were behind a wall, um, and out of nowhere we just heard this explosion next to us. It was a really loud explosion.
Yeah.
So when we go over to figure it out what's going on, we had MPs patrolling the area, maybe doing a route clearance or something. We go to the lead vehicle, which is the one who got hit, and there's the guys in there are like all messed up, right?
Yeah.
The TC, his leg was like hanging from the ACU trouser.
Yeah.
Um, the driver had a cut, like his nose was wide open, like it was nasty, right? So I think if I'm not mistaken, I pretty much told everybody to fan out and pull security while we conduct the 9 line medevac, right?
Yeah.
I was able to put a tourniquet on this guy's leg, and I don't remember who took the driver and the gunner out and actually applied did the first aids on them. I was just focused more on the TC when because his leg was pretty much hanging, right?
Yeah.
So we pretty much got in. We pull him out of the vehicle. We call 9 line medevac. We put the
Yeah.
guys in the Bradley, and the Bradley took the guys to the medevac point. But it was crazy. I will never forget that guy. I don't remember his name, but I'll never forget his face. And then maybe months later or weeks later, we receive a visit from the commander,
Mm-hmm.
and they came to our fob, and he pretty much looked for us and gave us certificates of appreciation, and a coin. I think I got a Arkham with Valor.
I don't think they gave you and Bustos nothing, bro. All we got was the appreciation certificate and a coin. Shit.
Oh yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
don't remember
I think,
when. Then I got the Valor, the Arkham
I
with
think
Valor.
the Valor was for the wall bill that we did. Because you remember at first we used to have to go out there for 12 hours a day, bro. We
Yeah,
used to rotate out of the Bradley to get out, pull security, and go unhook the chains from the wall. Somebody had to
Yeah.
climb up the ladder and unhook the chains. We had to do that for a while. Like you said, the dude leg was hanging, and the dude knows. Well, bro, you told the dude, bro, your nose. You know what
Oh,
I'm
I
saying?
remember that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, bro, your nose is fucked up or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Bustos, y'all was like, hey, y'all go pull security. You, Bustos, Kelly, and Blue, y'all was doing first aid while me and Bonds was pulling security. When you think about that deployment now, what lessons stand out the most?
Um, I think, I asked myself if there was there really a purpose of us going over there? You know, uh, was there really a reason for us to um, go to a place that we weren't invited to?
Yeah,
There was no reason, right? At that time, I didn't have not a lot of reasons for it. It was just I was just protecting myself and make sure that I came back home, right? Me and my guys.
yeah,
Um, and I'm pretty sure Boosters, I'm pretty sure you said the same thing. Bonds, Kennedy, all those guys that were with us. I'm pretty sure everybody was the same. But I actually think about it right now, and what a great thing I did for this country, personally, you know.
yeah,
And the truth is, nothing. We took a lot of guys out, bad guys, right? It was great for the city, but at the same time, it's just a city that don't want help.
yeah,
It's a city that they're upset because we're there, right? And purpose of the mission. I mean, let me ask you, what purpose you had in Solder City? What was the purpose?
bro. Uh, I don't think it was a deep purpose at all. I think my purpose there was to pull security for the lieutenant, to do whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't really think we had a purpose there. We there to pull security for the lieutenant, basically.
yeah. So I don't see a purpose. I don't see my lesson learned from all this is just that we will always have to pay the price for the decisions of people that are in office. There's no purpose in war, right? When you say purpose, let's say they bring the war to the United States, right? That's a purpose. Now we
Yeah,
got to protect everybody that lives in this country,
for
you know.
sure.
But when we go somewhere else, who are we supposed to protect? Who are we supposed to, like it's just sometimes it's really hard to understand when you talk about stuff like that. It's just personally, I don't know why we went over there in the first place.
Yeah,
You went to Afghanistan, and look, you just find out that we just left Afghanistan pretty much after 20 years. All that work for what? For nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, we got our experience, we got mad stories, we lost a lot of friends, uh, but for what? So
nah, that was real, bro. What was it like the first time you realized you were really home after that deployment?
so my deployment in Southern City wasn't as long as you guys. I was on orders to go to Fort Sam, Houston, right? Because of my daughter has a health condition, and they didn't have no doctors for her in Germany. So obviously they send me to Fort Sam, Houston on compassionate reassignment orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they send me to this place that they have no infantry. All they have is medics. But when I was on the plane, uh, going stateside, that's when I was like, okay, I know for sure I'm not gonna get deployed for a long time, so I can say that I'm home now. You know,
Yeah. How did your daily habits or mindset carry over from the army?
I think 100%, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm the same person that you met uh, back in oh 07, oh 08, oh 09. You know, I'm still disciplined. I'm still very organized. I like to do stuff the right way. One time, the right way. I have mad respect for soldiers, mad respect for veterans. I have mad respect for people that are looking out for other people. When it comes to give advice for people that wanted to join the army, I'll tell them what I think. I'll never lie about it. I'm going to give them, straight up answer. I think I'm a whole different person, way better person, way better man that I was
Yeah.
back in the day, and I think
Yeah.
the army made me this way, and that's how I like to stay. That's how I like to be. Um, Sometimes it's a little rough on other people, like my current wife. Sometimes I just come at her sideways, but she understands. But I pretty much back up a little, regroup, and then come at her the right way. It's just I think the way I am right now is just the way I like to be because of the military.
Did you struggle with the quiet going from chaos to calm?
I still do. I'm not a I'm not a person that I'm a very anxious person, right? I can't control it. I take meds for it. I can't really control. I can't get rid of it. I'm always thinking about stuff, but I think I don't like quiet um, environment. I think I go crazy to just not be able to listen to anything. I'm not saying that I wanted to listen to people shooting at me or bombs and stuff, but I was so used to that type of environment. I think that if I stay in an area where it's quiet, quiet, quiet completely, I feel that I'm gonna get attacked because it's just weird, you know?
For sure.
It's just weird for me to be in an area where there's no noise or I like to be where there's noise. I like to be looking at everything. Just but it was hard to adapt to the civilian life.
How important is brotherhood after service?
I think is I don't think it's for sure is the most important thing because I mean that's your second family. You know there was like right now, I spend more time with you guys than the time that I have spent with my wife. You
Yeah.
know, um, and we went through stuff that nobody will be able to understand. If you haven't experienced it the way we did.
Yeah.
So being connected with you guys, being connected with my brothers, is a way of me understand that what we did matter. Um, that we kept we kept each other safe. We did everything we could to come back. We did everything we could to cover as much as we could with you guys and soldiers, and not just our soldiers, but people above us too.
Yeah.
um, I think having that connection with my brothers is just something that I will always have, and I need to have. uh, People don't understand the same. I can talk to you and I can talk to somebody else the same things and they won't understand. You will understand me, you know?
Yeah, for
So it's
sure.
always good to have somebody there that can actually understand what I'm saying because you've been through that, you know? So me having my brothers, um, pretty much a call away is the world to me, you know?
Sure, bro. Okay. When you look back, what moments define your military career?
I think I always, I think bring as many people as I could back home from war. Um, I think that defined my military career. I think it's something that not a lot of people can actually say.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we couldn't bring everybody back safe, right? Um, but we try and we brought as many as we could back home safe. Um, and I think me having that knowledge that I was able to bring back as many of you guys back to your families, back to your loved ones. I think it that defines my military career as close to be complete 100%. I'm not gonna say 100% because we're missing guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but me being able to say that some of my guys actually came back um, to their families is it defines my military career. You know.
Hey, that was the realest shit I ever heard, bro, on everything. That was the realest shit I ever heard. What are you most proud of as a leader and as a man?
I think I will say that I'm proud of the leader that I was back in the day. Made me the type of person that I am right now when it comes to be understandable with my soldiers, my peers. Uh, had empathy with people that are above me or under me because it doesn't mean that because you're above me you're a perfect person. You have your might have days that things are not go as good as you think, and probably I'll be there to make you feel better. I think being a leader just make me the like I said before the person that I am today when it comes to do the right thing, understanding people, obviously taking care of each other, taking care of my family, taking care of my kids, um, uh, taking care of my wife, my loved ones, and also, you know, whenever I talk to my guys, just ask them how's their family, how they're doing, if they're doing okay. They need to understand that I'm here for them. That I'm always that person. I'm always that brother. I'm always that guy that will always be there for you guys. And I'm saying this to you because that's how I am. And I tell this to boosters because I have a lot of conversation with boosters most of the time, and he knows. He knows. He understands. Um, so yeah, that's just I'm a better person now because of the type of leader that I was back in the day.
All right. What would you say to the brothers who didn't make it home?
It's a really it's a really difficult question. I would have loved for Bart to come home, TJ to come home. Pataki to come home, Bixler to come home, um, Doc Williams to come home, Delgado to come home. Um, I would have loved for all of them to come home and experience what we're going through now. And when I say going through now, it's just family, wife, kids. I know some of them had kids, but experience more life. Uh, and like from the bottom of my heart, their memory lives on. I will never forget them. Um, I always think about them. I always carry them in my wrist. Um, and I wish I could just see them and just hug them, tell them how much I love those guys, and and but above all, I will say thank you for everything that they did for us, for laying their life to protect us, to protect the American people, to protect the the freedom that everybody has, but everybody takes for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, above everything, I would say thank you for everything that they did, and I will never forget them.
Damn, sure, bro. Couldn't have said it no better. All right, last question, bro. How do you want the story of you, Bustos, and your brothers to be remembered?
So I think I would say uh, brothers from another mother that did you know, everything together. You know, we understood a lot of things the same way. We still think alike. Um, I just want people to understand there's always somebody out there that understand you and loves you without you knowing. Um, and I want people to understand that me and Bustos, when we first became team leaders, we made a pact of taking care of everybody that needs us. So I just want everybody to understand that there's always somebody that needs help, and that's when you and your body can come up and help them, like me and Boosters did with everybody that it was pretty much under us. I think we were two great leaders, and because of the type of leaders that we were, um, most of you guys wanted to work with us because we understood that we were in that position too, and I just want people to understand that uh, me and Bustos did everything we could just to make things easy for you guys, even if we had to pay the price for it. Like we really didn't care. But me and Bustos our story. I know it will last forever because I know it inspires a bunch of you guys. And I'm pretty sure it inspires a lot of other people that I have told about Bustos. And it's just I know it's a story that's gonna like live on for a long time, for at least for the rest of my life. I will always say it. I will always talk about the him and you guys and everybody because I talk about you guys all the time. But I would just want everybody to know that me and him are brothers, inseparable. We'll always do everything we can to make sure that whoever needs us gets the help that they need from us.
Less than 1% wore the uniform, and even fewer carried the burden like these men did. Ruben Bustos showed us the view from the ground, Manuel Centeno showed us what it looked like from leadership, holding it all together. Their stories remind us that the war didn't make heroes, it made brothers. Manuel, thank you for your service, your strength, and your honesty. You've been listening to Veteran Stories, where the regulars finally get some spotlight. Appreciate you for joining me, brother.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you, bro.